Dear Fluttershy, today I learned... actually, no. Scratch that. That's not true at all. I'm not writing to you about something I learned in just a day or even a few days. In fact, what I've learned has taken place over the course of several months, maybe even years. By the time you get this, I will have just turned 20 years old. And I've been following you and your friends' adventures ever since I was 13. Jeez, nearly 7 years have passed. How the time has flown. The Fluttershy I saw all that time ago is nothing like the one I see now. And it feels like I've only just begun to appreciate and reflect on the struggles you've gone through to become who you are now. It's sobering to look back on, especially when it comes to recognizing how instrumental friends and family are in overcoming personal struggles and getting to where you want to be. Very recently, I hit a massive low in my life. Everyone I know saw me at my worst, and I did and said things that, looking back, I'm not proud of doing or saying. I lost what felt like the world. Since then, I've worked towards self-improvement, and it's not always been easy. I've persisted for months now, just trying to get closer to this finish line that I have in my head, and sometimes it just seems like nothing works at all. It kinda reminds me of how you felt a long time ago when you tried to be there for Rainbow Dash. You did everything in your power to overcome your insecurities and make a difference, but all that work didn't amount to any massive steps forward. You didn't think it was enough. You didn't think others thought it was enough. So, you walked away. You gave in to your fears, and you went home. It wasn't until your friend, Twilight Sparkle, pushed you to use what little improvement you've made to show yourself and everyone around you that you're making a sincere attempt to conquer your bad habits.
Fluttershy, they need you up there! I won't make a difference! You can make a difference! Do it for Equestria! Do it for Rainbow Dash! Do it for yourself!
From there, you'd grow so much, and that growth certainly didn't happen overnight. I'd imagine it was frustrating at times to be putting your nose to the grindstone for so long before you finally became someone you could be happy with. But one thing I bet you won't disagree with is that you couldn't have done it without the help of your friends. And the same can be said for me. There are so many times where I would have fallen apart completely if it weren't for the love and support of the people I have in my life. They've encouraged me to take small steps towards self-improvement when I felt trapped, and when they couldn't do that, they've lent an ear and a voice when I needed them. You and your friends have reminded me that your darkest and most hopeless times are where you discover the compassion of the people you surround yourself with. Turns out, it's priceless, and often, it's undying. You've also reminded me that compassion isn't always what you need. Sometimes a good kick in the rear is what's really warranted. You learned that one firsthand when you tried to cure Sakura of her disease, but ended up getting yourself sick in the process. Twilight insisted that you take care of yourself, slow down a bit, don't rush into your problems on pure emotion or instinct. But you persisted forward. That kind of stubbornness put you down for the count, and even though you eventually got a cure, you learned the hard way that pushing yourself to do something you weren't ready for was a really bad idea. Twilight knew that you weren't ready either, but I'd imagine she also knew that there was only so much she could do for you. Similarly, I was warned by my own friends about what I wanted to do. Instead, I made the aforementioned bad decisions, and I paid the price for it. True friends aren't there just to make you feel good about what you're doing. They're also there to tell you when you shouldn't feel good. They let you make your own mistakes, and they tell you what you did wrong and where to go next. Moreover, if you show that you're willing to make an effort towards bettering yourself, they'll help you pick up the pieces so you can start figuring out how to do that. I showed that kind of effort myself, and those within my circle supported me and offered guidance when necessary, and the same sort of thing happened to you. Twilight had to reinforce her warnings, and when you allowed yourself to improve, she provided the support you needed to get you to where you need to be. Both of our experiences reinforce this idea that friends are there to help us when we're lovable and when we're not so lovable. And you know, this sort of thing happened right as you were showing great progress. Just a little bit before all this, you did something you wouldn't have done a long time ago, and you took the direction of your animal sanctuary into your own hands. You didn't let others dictate it for you. And yet, shortly afterward, you were lying in bed, exhausted, realizing the limits of your capabilities. You saw that even though you grew out of your old flaws, there was still much more room to improve yourself even further. You put credence to the idea that even when you think there isn't anywhere higher or lower to go, you never stop finding ways to better yourself. Personal growth has no finish line. It's a lifelong journey, and it can be pretty scary sometimes. But there's comfort in knowing that the people you love will have your back through thick and thin when you show some drive, just like the kind you've shown and how you continue to inspire me to do the same. Again, without my friends and family, I'd be nothing. And I can safely assume that you would agree wholeheartedly in the case of yours. They cheer you up when you've been dealt a bad hand, they help you choose a new path when you've messed up, and most importantly, they stand by your side when you reach the top of the mountain and encourage you to climb another one. That is what makes friendship magic. Thank you and farewell, Logan Geeky Steven.